Empty kitchen sink again. The stove. Empty pot of water. Well, I guess the pot is full of water, it's not empty. Hey guys, okay, so I got really hungry, so I'm gonna make some noodles for myself and probably add some pelmeni, which is kind of like a dumpling thing in Georgia. I use this time to talk a little bit about the books I've been reading over a very long period of time. So I've been trying to find English books in Georgia, and there are a couple of English bookstores in Tbilisi, and actually I got one of these in Tbilisi in Vake, which is like it's kind of like an expat area, I guess, of Georgia. I got this one there, and I got this honestly because it was 13 lari, I think. It was the most affordable thing in the bookstore. So every English book in Georgia tends to have like a surcharge to it because they have to import it, right? A lot of the other books, they were like 40 lari, which converts to like 21 Canadian dollars or something like that. And I just can't buy multiple of those, or else I'll use up my whole budget. But Wuthering Heights, I know it's like a classic Emily Bronte, and I'm very bad at reading classics, like extremely bad. I just find it really tough to get into like historical novels or things written in a different time period. I actually do like the way they speak and all that, but it's just slower for me to read. And honestly, I kind of embarrassingly know about this book because of Twilight. I think that's where the main character, oh my gosh, I used to be actually embarrassingly into it when I was younger, but now I can't even remember. Oh yeah, her name's Bella. Okay, but yeah, I think Bella was into Wuthering Heights. I can't remember. Maybe I have to look that up. But anyway, I'm only on chapter 2 despite having this paperback for 3 months or something. So yeah, I'm definitely in a reading slump. I also think it's partly because it's a book that I don't really want to read, so I'm trying to get through it. But because of the prices of books in Georgia, like this classic by Lewis Carroll, right, Through the Looking Glass, I had to pay 32 or 33 lari for it, which is kind of like 16 Canadian dollars. You can see on the back, it's actually only 11 Canadian dollars. So that was the surcharge, which is why I can't buy physical books in Georgia, unless maybe I can find a secondhand bookstore, and I think there is one. I have to go back and check it out, but I'm going back to Malaysia soon, so see if I buy any physical books there, or I still have books at home that I can kind of pre-use. But yeah, so basically because of the prices of books in Georgia, I've been reading a lot on my Kindle subscription, and that means it's been a lot of just fun entertainment reads, like romance, just to like de-stress, you know, and those I can devour pretty quickly if the storyline's okay. Like I think I went through 300 pages in 4 or 5 hours overnight. So yeah, but why Wuthering Heights is difficult for me to read sometimes is because I don't like the protagonist, this narrator. He's like such a snob. I don't know, like I read chapter 1 only, so I suppose he gets better over time. But he just intrudes on Mr. Heathcliff's, is that how you pronounce his name, Heathcliff? Mr. Heathcliff's property. Why am I speaking in an accent like this? It doesn't make sense. The water is beginning to boil. Oh, how did he say the water? Water. Oh my gosh. Just shut me down. Anyway, so he just intrudes on the host's house without giving any forewarning. I can tell you that as a homebody sometimes, as I'm kind of antisocial maybe, but I'm just more of like an introvert. If someone just came up to my house without warning me in advance, I would be shooting daggers at them. Like, I wouldn't be happy. So I can understand why Mr. Heathcliff is so standoffish. I do not like this protagonist so far. I think he projects a lot onto the other characters, and he's pretty judgmental, even though he seems to hold himself in high regard. This is one of my favorite books. I love it. I'm Actually, only halfway through or something like that, even though I've been reading for a really long time. You can see the steam's coming out. I think it's like cooking soon. But yeah, I have a lot of favorite quotes from this. I'll read some out to you later. But I brought this with me. I actually bought this in Batumi, so there is a bookstore there. This one was bought from Bookmark in Tbilisi, and this one was bought from English Book Education in Batumi. And I brought this with me to Svaneti, Mastia, because I was hiking in that area in September, and so it was good for me to bring a book around, a physical book around. So I was very happy. Now I'm so bad. I'm gonna add some eggs, some chicken pepperoni sticks. I'm gonna cook this, and a little bit of slice of processed cheese in. It's so bad. It's just like instant ramen. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling that Asian kick. So really awkward angle, but let's try this. One of my favorite scenes from Through the Looking Glass is when Alice is with the Queen, and the Queen asks her, "How old are you?" "I'm 7.5 exactly." "You needn't say exactly," the Queen remarked. "I can't believe it without that. Now I'll give you something to believe. I'm just 101 5 months and a day." "I can't believe that," said Alice. "Can't you?" the Queen said in a pitying tone. "Try again. Draw a long breath and shut your eyes." Alice laughed. "There's no use trying," she said. One can't believe impossible things." "I dare say you haven't had much practice," said the Queen. "Why, when I was your age, I always did it for half an hour a day. Why, sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." My favorite line. "I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." Isn't it amazing if we could believe all these impossible things and they would just simply be true? That's one of my favorite quotes from this. And I also just really enjoy reading the idea of like things moving backwards in time, right? So like the crime only being committed after the punishment's been dealt out. That was pretty interesting to read. So I'll read a little bit of the Jabberwocky. This very cool illustration. Oh, did you see it? The Jabberwocky. "'Twas brillig, and the slitty toves, the gyre and Jim on the wave. All mimsy were the borgoves, and the moth rafts out grabe. Beware, Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the jubjub bird, and shun the frumious bandersnatch." He took his vorpal shot, sword in hand. Long time the maximum foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. And as in uffish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tidgy wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went schnick schnack. He left it dead, and with its head he went gloomfing back. "And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, callooh, callay," he trotted in his joy. "'Twas brillig in his little toves, the gyre and Jim on the wabe. All mimsy were the borgoves, and the mom rafts out grabe." So I probably mispronounced a bunch of those words. And I know my accent is a little bit bleh. But that was fun. Wuthering Heights, I only read a little bit, so I don't really have much to report. Let me see. Was there a little quote? I love how like grumpy Joseph is. Joseph's just a grumpy character. He doesn't like the narrator. And honestly, I fully support. Respect, man. I think the narrator is creepy for the way he talks about Mrs. Heathcliff, or who he assumes is Mrs. Heathcliff. Creepy. I wouldn't want someone intruding into my home unexpectedly and then making remarks insinuating that I could have done better. He little imagined how my heart warmed towards him when I beheld his black eyes withdraw so suspiciously under his brows as I rode up, and then his fingers sheltered themselves with jealous resolution still further in his waistcoat as I announced my name. Like, quotes like that, it's just, you really have to be awake and like focusing to understand what it means, But it's a cool, like elegant, intricate, kind of convoluted way to write, and I'm all for it sometimes because I think it'd be cool. Sometimes I do want to write that style, But I should probably just do a screen grab, like record my screen. But yeah, I have started reading. No, sorry, not reading, but I started watching Haley Fan vlogs again. She runs like a reading vlog channel, although she does other things, like she used to be a dancer. And this video is about waking up at 5 a.m. Ads. This vlog is about reading, waking up at 5 a.m. to read every day for a week. So I kind of got inspired. Do you hear that? It's like a really annoying kid outside banging around. But yeah, waking up every day at 5 a.m. to read for a week. So maybe I would try that because she talks about how lovely it is to be up. Okay, why is it hanging? And I got to page 342. So yeah, basically she talks about how nice it is to get up at 5 a.m., have this huge like block of uninterrupted time for yourself to just fully immerse yourself in your hobby without getting distracted by other things. There's something really nice about waking up before the rest of the world is up. And I definitely love the idea of that. I do currently have my own apartment, so technically I just do whatever I want throughout the day, but I think there's still a different energy and vibe if you get up at 5 in the morning, or some people get up at 4 or 3 and you just feel like by 10 a.m. you've accomplished so much of your day. It's like empowering. So I think I will try that maybe next week. We'll see. Yeah, start by just making time for my own reading, because I do a lot of reading, but it's like just research for other projects and a lot of reading of web articles and stuff like that, but not actual books. So I would like to do that. So we'll see in a different vlog. Okay, so I think we've collected enough footage for the week. In fact, too much footage. It's gonna be actually probably like an hour of footage that I have to go wade through. But I'm ready to edit my very first vlog of 19 years. 19. Shows you I feel 19. 29 years of age. I'm just gonna relax in bed and edit my vlog. I have this bad habit of working in kind of the dark or low light conditions, but I just find it more cozy. And I just started writing a little short story that I don't know, it's not really a Christmas theme, so maybe I can't publish it for this month. Maybe I'll do it in January. But I just wrote a couple of thoughts down. It's about this guy in high school. Normally I don't write from the perspective of male characters, so it's interesting that I just got that vibe from the story. And he's hearing intrusive thoughts from another person, and it sounds like a girl. So I'm thinking it's gonna be kind of mystery, but also like just psychological. Like he'll be tuning in against his will to like intrusive, delusional thoughts from someone else who at first seems to maybe have a crush on him, but then gets more sinister. So I was thinking of writing that. So I'll just share a little excerpt from my draft that I wrote today. In 30 minutes, I wrote about 714 words. Yeah. Keep in mind this is a draft, so not everything will be used, but Sally was the kind of girl who aspired to big dreams, but pendulumed hard. Is that even a word? I don't know. Pendulumed hard between seemingly opposite realities, like running for president or becoming a magician on a fantasy X-rated adult pirate ship. I don't know. I actually really liked this part, and I think this one gives you a sense of my typical writing style. I'm more like lyrical. If you had to live with someone else's thoughts constantly in your head like I have, I think you would go just as mad, certifiably so. These thoughts make me feel unchained. They have become a gross comfort in a twisted way, in that they assure me I'm never alone. Perhaps it's similar to the way I might keep the television on at night, glowing and flickering in the quiet of the dark as he snores loud enough to rattle the pictures on the wall as if a restless gull lived within. It has gotten to the point where I can almost live with them, tuning the majority of it into mere background noise and chatter. The poison has infected me. Yeah, I think I definitely want to edit that because I don't want to state everything point blank. But I like the metaphor or comparison I gave there about the keeping the television on at night, letting it flicker and glow, cast its blue light onto your face. I don't know. Okay, let's get back to editing.